friends, my name is Lindsey. I run the blog Books for Christian Girls, and welcome back to the little corner of the internet where I talk mainly about Christian fiction. Today we have Christian fiction, clean fiction, all the springtime themes, because this is not only some more spring book recommendations, but it is also the I Love Spring book tag that I thought we would do, kind of like a 2-for-1 video maybe. Maybe that's my thought. I did do a spring book recommendations video filled with what I think are really good springish books last year, and I will link that up in the cards and in the description if you need even more. But since I filmed that video last year, I have read a few more that I think would fit for a springtime reading. So I've got some for Christian fiction and then clean fiction. I have a couple standalones and then series. So let's get started with that, and then we will do the I Love Spring book tag. Don't sneeze, don't sneeze, don't sneeze. It is springtime. That means pollen and allergies. Do not sneeze, Lindsey Grace. So starting off with Christian fiction, I'm counting this one as a spring book because I'm going to read it here in the spring and I think it's going to work perfectly. It actually starts in February though, and that is A Lady's Guide to Marvels and Misadventure by Angela Bell. Y'all have been hearing me talk about this book. If you haven't read it yet and this quote hasn't sold you, I don't know what will. It was a really, really good book. This is technically like Christian fiction historical, but there's kind of a steampunk influence as well, like very lightly. So our main girl is Clara, and at the start of this book, we find out that her ex-fiance is spreading rumors about her family that they are crazy and insane and need to be put in an asylum. And not only is she having to deal with that stress, but her grandfather is not helping matters because he just hired this random man that just came off the street into his clockwork shop and has hired him as his apprentice. And the guy's being like, you know, he's nice, but he's not telling Clara really anything about himself, and there's all kinds of different little notes that she's just very suspicious. And then her grandfather goes off in his little flying machine, and I say little loosely, it's like a big flying machine, which is the steampunk element of this book, and he's going all around Europe, leaving her like clues and notes. So it's basically a giant scavenger hunt, but for her grandfather, before other people find him in his flying machine. So there's like that little bit of suspense element too. And so Clara, with her grandfather's new apprentice, and then her mom, who is just, her mom's great, they have to go find the grandfather and follow him with the treasure hunting clues. It's very fun. It's really fun. I just talked about this book in my last video because it is technically loosely inspired by The Nutcracker and Around the World in 80 Days, and my last video was a fairy tale retelling, my favorite, and this is obviously a favorite. So it's fun. It is just very different. It's very unique. It's got like a whimsical vibe, and I feel like whimsical is perfect for spring. So this is going to be my first new one for y'all. So my other one, again, I'm kind of like stretching things just a little bit, and that would be Digging Up Secrets by Elizabeth Penney. Now, why I'm saying this is a stretch is because it's technically set in June, but look at this cover. It feels very springish to me, and it's a cozy mystery, but no suspense and no murder. So to me, that means spring, because cozy mystery, or not even really cozy mysteries with a murder or suspenseful elements, to me that's fall. So the opposite of that is a cozy mystery with no murder or suspense. That means it's spring. That's what my brain's telling me, and this is just a fun series, okay? Our main girl is Harriet, and she has inherited her grandfather's veterinary clinic in Yorkshire, England, and so she has moved there, I think from Connecticut. I think she was from Connecticut, and so she's just moved here. This is the start of the adventures, and every book in the series has a mystery and then something else going on in the backstory, and I've really been enjoying the series personally. I think I'm going to be starting book 8 or 9 here within the next week or so. I've been trying to savor them. They are really fun. They are actually all available on Kindle Unlimited, which is a first for the Guidepost publisher that's publishing these. They've never done that before, and I'm just really, really appreciative that they did, and I hope they have great success with doing it on that platform. So that's just me giving a plug for that because I've really been enjoying this series. But I feel like this first book, Digging Up Secrets, I feel like it's springish. I don't know. You do have like the mentions of like summer heat and whatnot, but I think it should count. I think it should count. My last one for Christian fiction would be A Noble Match, and this is by Kirsten Fichter. I need to find out how to pronounce this last name because there's like 3 different authors with this last name and I can't pronounce it, so that's just unfortunate, Lindsey. But this is a Thumbelina retelling, which Thumbelina means spring also in my brain, like childhood nostalgic reasons. I think so. I should rewatch Thumbelina. this spring. I haven't seen it since I was like a kid. I should re-find it. But anyway, this is a Thumbelina retelling. Not only do we have this very pretty pink, soft pink, springy pink cover, we also have our main girl who is now the crown princess after her brother has suddenly passed away. And not only does our main girl raise monarch butterflies, or just butterflies I think, which obviously that's springish, it just had such a lovely, sweet springtime feel to it. There is a very light romance between our main girl, whose name just went out of my brain, Minette, and also her brother's former bodyguard, who's kind of now her bodyguard. So we have that little, very sweet, very innocent romance, very sweet book. I've enjoyed a lot of the books in this series. This is the Cornerstone series, but you can read them out of order. None of them are connecting, but this one I would say is really good for spring personally. So for clean fiction, some of these are not going to be a surprise. I've been talking about them a lot in the last year, but I want them on record as a springtime recommendation. So that is what we're doing. So the first one, The Princess Companion by Melanie Cellier. What else do I need to say about this? It is a Princess and the Pea retelling, one of my very favorite fairy tale retellings, and then you get to read like 21 books that are spins off of this book. That made no grammatical sense, but you know. So we have this series that's like 6 books, and then you've got another series that's 6 books, and then another series I think is 6 books, and then you've got a duology. Here's my little graph. Feel free to take a screenshot. And it's great. Like, really, it's a great series. They are so fun. This is the first book, though, that kind of starts it off and introduces you to everything, and it's just really good. It's really good. It started off my fairy tale binge reading last year, and I've just been continuing that ever since. Technically, a fairy tale retelling-ish retelling would be a magic flute retelling, which is Spring of Sparkling Song by Sarah Beran. I'm not familiar with this original story, so I don't think it's technically a fairy tale. Might be a play, something like that. I don't know. It just has that fairy tale story, but has the uniqueness because I didn't know what to expect. This whole series is so, so good. It is the Seasons of Music and Magic series. Technically, it's 4 books, but there's a bonus book that goes in between fall and winter, so this would be the order I would suggest reading them in. And it's just great, okay? It's great. If you really like Pixie Hollow, that kind of spring, summer, fall, winter, seasonal kingdom concept, this would probably be a really good series for you. This first one starts in spring. It's perfect. It's perfect. You can technically read spring, summer, fall, any order, but I would definitely suggest in between fall and winter to read To Crack a Soldier and read winter last, personally, but you can start with spring because it's springtime. It's perfect. It makes you want to frolic in a field of flowers. And that is the epitome of spring to me. Another series by Sarah Beran I do not own yet. I am waiting for the hardbacks to be available because I want to have them in hardback. But that is the Tales of Eukarya? I don't know. I need to listen to the audiobook just so I know how to say it. Currently, it's a trilogy, but the 4th book is releasing in August, and that's going to be a Mulan Goose Girl retelling. When I tell you I am so excited for that, I'm so excited for that. I can't contain it. But so we have 3 different books. Chords of Green and Gold is the first book, and it is a frog prince mixed up with Rumpelstiltskin. Lots of puns, very good. Then we have the second book, My Fair Mermaid, which is The Little Mermaid, and My Fair Lady, but it's different because the main girl is not the Little Mermaid as in Ariel. That's her cousin, and she's been dragged on land. It's a very fun twist. And then well, not fun for her because her cousin is a piece of work, but it's entertaining for us because it's different, you know? I think so, at least. And then the 3rd book is the one I honestly would say is maybe the most springish, and that is A Bond of Ice and Sunshine. That is a King Thrushbeard retelling mixed with The Snow Queen, which those are 2 fairy tale retellings I don't really usually care for, but together and how the author did it, and then you have the male main lead is just that golden retriever energy for the main girl. I was sold. I was sold. And I suggest that one particularly because it's kind of like right when like you're thawing, when winter is thawing into spring, and then you also get to see her heart thaw. That's kind of what I'm talking about there. For me, it feels like it should be right on that cusp of like thawing. Winter is thawing, spring is coming. That's what that book feels like to me. Now, mind you, I would suggest reading them in order, but you don't really have to. But you do see characters in the third book. You see them in the second book. So that's why I suggest to read them in order. Super fun series though. Absolutely delightful. Very, very fun. So then I have 2 historical clean fiction recommendations. The first one is going to be Maiden in the Tower by Heidi Kimball. Again, this is one I just discussed in my last video, but I can't not discuss it again because she is a gardener. This is the epitome of spring to me because she has a haphazard garden and it's a Rapunzel retelling, but Regency. I need more Regency fairy tale retellings in my life. I really, truly do. I also, okay, just as a side note, another thing I desperately want to see, authors take note, would be Regency mysteries. Like, not suspense like spies. Like, I've got a few of those and I really like those and more of those would be fine. But like, cozy mysteries in a Regency setting. That's what I want. Somebody write that for me, please and thank you, because I'm not patient enough to write it myself. I'll just be the one fangirling and promoting it for you if I like it, kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyway, this, though, is a Rapunzel retelling, fairy tale retelling. It was so cute. This whole series was really sweet. Like, I liked some more than others, but this was definitely my favorite because partially the garden. As a gardener, I really like when there are gardens in books and just how her garden is described. Like, let's see, how was it? Jerry slipped inside and paused, taken aback by the scenery before him. The yard was a mass of growth, a garden in its own right, he supposed, but it was quite the opposite of any English garden he'd ever seen. Ivy climbed over the stone enclosure and up the walls of the cottage untrimmed. Flowers of all hues, varieties, and heights grew in a haphazard mixture. No manicured shrubs, no proper rows, no carefully laid paths like the small plots that adorned the parks in London. He quite liked it. He stepped onto the stone path that had long since been overgrown. To his right lay a flourishing vegetable garden, but there was neither sense nor order to it. Cabbages grew next to pumpkins, carrot tops sprouted next to tomato vines. Further in, several large trees spanned over open patches of the lawn, offering a welcome shade, a respite from the summer heat. Okay, so technically, yes, it is set in the summer. Technically. But you have a garden. Garden means spring in my brain. So, I love it. And I also like that honestly could describe my own garden. And then the main guy, the main guy was great in this because not only does he love his dog like a lot and is trying to find his dog who has run off into her garden in this little like English cottage, he asked for a tour of her haphazard garden and she just lights up. And I'm just like, oh, yep, that would get me too, honey. That'd get me too. So yes, definitely liked that one. Another one though that I really liked was The Unassuming Curator by Sian Bessey. This is part of a series that I haven't read the other books at all. I just randomly found this one and I was like, you know, that sounds really cute. It is actually set not quite Regency, right before, so 1790? Is it really? I didn't think I'd like a book in the 1700s, but it's right on the cusp, so close enough. And our main guy is a curator, but he is actually colorblind, and so he is trying to be this museum curator, like a natural science museum curator, but not give it away that he can't see colors. And so then he is trying to take a plant out of a hedgerow and our main girl sees him and they have like a little bonding moment over flowers and plants because she loves flowers and plants as well. And then they meet in London for like, you know, society things and it's just like, oh, it was really cute. Honestly, when I was reading this book, it made me wish I had read it in the springtime because it had like such a wet spring day in April vibe to it. And I don't know why. Is it the plants? Is it just the sweetness of it? Maybe? I don't know, but like a wet spring day. That is what this book felt like to me. So, yeah. So those are my new springtime recommendations. How funny, they're kind of like a color ombre almost. That's not planned, but there are some new spring recommendations. If you are still looking for more though, please feel free to check out my other video where I have lots more recommendations. And then I don't know if I actually mentioned The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Her name is such a mouthful for me. I'm so sorry, ma'am. But her book, I don't know if I mentioned that one. I think I did. think I did. But that one definitely would be a recommendation as well. But elsewise, these are my newer ones that I would recommend. And now let's get on with the tag. I was having a difficulty finding a spring book tag because I did the put a spring in your set book tag, which was really cute. Really liked doing that one. But trying to find other spring book tags, they all have like questions I'm not going to answer as a Christian booktuber. And so I finally found one that wasn't questionable, and that would be the I love spring book tag. So let's see. The first question is, how is spring where you live? I live in southern Texas and it is warm. It is warm. What is spring? We don't really technically know. I would say that if it stays around like 80s and doesn't go to the 90s, that's great. That's happy. We'll take that. Mid 70s is ideal in my opinion. But yeah, it's just pretty warm, and it usually starts, we always have a fake spring, and then we get cold for another week, and then cold for us, okay? Cold for us. Not like cold, like y'all up north, but it's cold enough for us, and then we get into our 80s, 90s. Like this week, we are getting almost to 90s all week, and it is the last week of March, so that kind of tells you that. And yeah, we've already hit 90, and it's the end of March, so yeah, March is typically the beginning. And if we can just have more days in the 70s, I think we're overall pretty happy with that. Question number 2, most anticipated book release this spring. So, releasing in just a few days after I film this video and after it's posted, Erynn Mangum's newest book, which is Leap Day in the Square, is releasing, and I'm so excited. Obviously, she's one of my favorite authors. Look how cute the cover is. Do I know really anything about it? Not really. The main girl has a cotton candy stand, and she wants to avoid a guy from her hometown. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. I have pre-ordered the ebook copy, so catch me reading it the night it releases. And then as soon as I can, I'll be ordering the paperback as well because it's Erynn Mangum and I love her books. So I'm so excited for that one. Other ones, though, I'm excited for. Joanna Davidson Politano's new one is releasing here in April. The Curious Inheritance of the Blakey House. I just pre-ordered that one. And I'm looking for that one. The cover, just like, very much excited for that. Let me clarify real quick. Erynn Mangum and Joanna David Politano, those books are both Christian fiction. But then Melanie Cellier also has one coming out, but that's clean fiction, fairy tale retelling inspired. And that is Kingdom of Glass? Legacy of Glass. Legacy of Glass. It's part of the Kingdoms of Legacy series, but the title is Legacy of Glass. And it is a Cinderella inspired. That's releasing May 20th. Yes, May 20th currently. And then also the Spring of Fairy Tale retelling series is starting to release. I think one of them got pushed back and like they had to move things around. So I think it's starting in April. But they are all fairy tale retellings set in the springtime. I'm looking forward to it, particularly Sarah Beran's one titled Snapdragon. I don't think there's an official cover yet as of me filming and editing this. But I'll put that there for now, what I have. I am looking forward to that one particularly. I'm trying to think, it's a retelling mashup, and I don't know what the mashups are off the top of my head, but I like all her books, so I'm going to read that one. And I think that's it for the spring. I have my reading journal, and I've done my anticipated releases spread, and I'm hoping I can share my reading journals with y'all come May. I still have to catch up on my 24 reading journal. I'm not done with that one yet. But hopefully I can share that with y'all then. And I think those are probably my most anticipated ones. Erynn Mangum, Melanie Cellier, Joanna Davidson Politano. Yeah, I think so. Question number 3 is show us a book cover that always makes you think of spring. And my go-to for this one is always going to be Flower in Bloom by Suri Mitchell. Really like that one. I recommended that one in my last year's spring recommendations video. And the main girl is the assistant to her botanist father, but she's kind of been having to take over his work, and like she does all the illustrations and everything. But then her uncle kind of gets a bee in his bonnet, literally, that, you know, springtime, haha, okay. And he convinces her father that, oh, she needs to go out into society and, like, you know, find a husband and all that. So they've brought in this other guy that becomes like her arch nemesis, if you will, in a way. But he's actually not that bad. But it was just a fun one. Very springy, very botany plants. like, and I really like those topics and seeing that in books, so I really like this one. But just the cover with her and the flowers I think is really pretty. Question number 4, what are you going to read this spring? Hopefully a lot of good books. The major ones though would be the ones I had just listed off for my anticipated releases for the spring, but then also I just imagine it'll be a lot more fairy tale retellings, because that's what I've been in the mood for. I'm hoping to knock out some of the Regency books though on my physical TBR. That would be nice. And then I also have spring TBR books that I talked about last year as well, I think. I think it was last year or the year before, whenever. And yes, I still have to read a lot of those. So like, it'd be good to knock those off my physical TBR. Question number 5 was find a cover with the sun on it. And for some reason, this was way more challenging than I was expecting. So I did a little search on my Goodreads books just for the word sun to see what books even had that in the title. And so that Lucky Old Sun by Janice Thompson I do own. I think it's one of those. Actually, y'all can't see them. I have a few books that like the raw edges are shown, and I think it's one of those. So I do own it. But I would say that one, and that was a spin-off novella series off of the author's series Weddings by Bella, and I liked both of those, so that one has the sun in it. Another one, though, that has the sun would be A Bond of Ice and Sunshine by Sarah Beran, which is clean fiction, fairy tale retelling, just told y'all about that one. And then I had like a light bulb moment, and I was so proud of myself. Valley of Dragons by Christina Bear. Sun. It counts. And that's the thing with a lot of fairy tale retellings is like the girls are backlit where it looks like there's a sun behind them, but there's really not. So on this one, Valley of Dragons, it does have a sun behind Edith, the main girl. This is book 5 in the Secrets of Ormdale series. Y'all have been hearing me talk about it a long time, actually. I just love this series so much. It's so fun. It's so pretty. Such a good series. Like, it is historical, cozy fantasy with dragons. It is a springtime recommendation. I talked about it in that recommendations video. So like just as another recommendation bonus for this video, this whole series, but this 5th cover does in fact have a sun on it. Question number 6 is what are your favorite spring reads? And I just gave y'all a bunch of them, not only in this video, but in that prior one. And I don't think I can think of any more off the top of my head. I have some on my physical TBR that hopefully I'll be able to recommend. So maybe watch out for my next couple of recent reads, maybe? And maybe we'll have more to talk about, but for now, those were all listed prior. And then question number 7, find a book with many different colors on it. Okay, so here, this is me overthinking a tag question as I do. So I feel like most books stick with like 2 to 5 colors on a cover, and it's hard to find ones that have more, right? So I tried to find ones, and I am gonna cheat. And so we have Easter Carrots by Erynn Mangum. I have this one in like a novella bind-up collection, so like this is the Kindle edition. It's like 50-something pages. Super cute to read on Easter Sunday, but it's colorful because of the Easter eggs, right? But then I had another light bulb moment. Erynn Mangum's Sketchy Behavior. Look at all the colors at the bottom. I'm very proud of myself. Okay, let's be honest. And then we could also say like for like the broad meaning of colors on the cover, not like the literal meaning like with Sketchy Behavior. We have her new book, Leap Day in the Square. That one is very colorful, but it was very hard to like, I went through my bookshelf. I spent way too much time on this question trying to go through and like look at ones. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I wanted something that had a lot of colors in it and like very obvious. Not like where there's like a sunset and like you could say, oh, that's 3 to 4 colors. I wanted something way more obvious. So I'm going to go with these 3 and they are all by one of my top favorite authors. So yay. And then question number 8 is who do you tag? And I don't know who to tag for this. I have so many booktube friends now and it's just so much fun. I don't know. Should I tag 3 people? I guess I'll tag 3 people. Let me figure out who to tag. Okay, I'm going to tag 3 people I think that will probably do this and then will be kind of like launched off on one corner of Christian BookTube and another corner of Christian BookTube and another corner? Maybe? Yeah, we're going to do that. So I'm going to tag Morgan over at Morgan's Endless Bookshelf. And then we have Stacy with Wandering with Stacy. And then Old American Spirit, I'm going to tag her as well. So y'all can do this one if you haven't already. I don't think anyone's done this tag. I should have double checked that. But if you've already done it, I'm so sorry. Hopefully you haven't done it. I thought this was a really fun, simple kind of tag, good questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all's videos if you decide to do this one. If not, that's totally okay. But if you have not been tagged and you want to do it, I say go ahead and jump in. Go ahead, do it. Tag 3 people, go for it. I wasn't tagged by anyone. I just found this tag and I was like, you know, that's perfect. I want to do it. Thus, I'm doing it. So that is going to be who I'll tag today. I want to tag everyone. That's always my problem with tags. Now that I have so many Christian booktube friends, it's just amazing. I just love how much this community has grown and how everyone discusses such different books, but like then there's like the overlapping of this and this book, and it's fun. It's just so much fun. But I'm going to tag those 3 lovely ladies, and then they can tag if they decide to do this video as well. And I think that is it for this video. Hopefully this video was shorter. I am actually filming this the day before I'd like to have it posted, so I get to scramble and edit it to hopefully get it up for Friday. But I will see y'all next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any springtime recommendations in the comments. Have you read any of these? Do you want to read any of them? Again, I do have that other video with more springtime recommendations. The next tag I need to do is the Quarter Crisis. Quarter Crisis? Is that Quarter Crisis book tag? Is that it? I'll probably do that closer to the end of April, I think. I was going to do that one today because, you know, it's March, end of March, so I could have. But I don't really feel like doing that one today. I wanted to talk about spring. I've been gardening every weekend for like the last few weekends, and it's just been lovely. I've gotten lots of new plants set up. Bonus, we have a beautiful bluebonnet patch, which is our state flower in Texas. It is in the lupin family, but we have a beautiful patch in our front garden bed, and so I took Daisy out yesterday to try to get her pictures in it. She was not having it. She got like 20 treats out of me just for all these attempts, but she's really cute. She's my baby. So we are going to continue to attempt to take her pictures in the bluebonnets and just enjoy all the flowers. So I hope spring is started where you're living if you are in the northern hemisphere. If you're not in the northern hemisphere, then you probably don't want spring at this exact moment, but I hope you look forward to all the flowers and all the prettiness. Feel free to tell me your favorite flower in the comments, especially if it's like an oddball one. Because like obviously I love daisies, but if I'm going to be like particular, I love the false garlic flower, which is a weed here in Texas technically, but it reminds me of my childhood. So that's like one of my favorite flowers. So that is it for this video. I'm gonna let y'all go. I keep talking y'all's ear off, as I do in every video, but I hope some of these caught your eye. I hope you enjoyed the tag, and I look forward to seeing y'all's answers to the questions either in the comments or a follow-up video. Please let me know if you film a video answering these questions, or if you do it on Instagram or anything. Please tag me. I would love, love, love to hear your questions and your answers, and potentially get some spring recommendations for you. I'm trying to decide. I want to read a Jane Austen book for the spring again, like I did last year. I read Emma. That was not a great success, as we know, but I want to try again. So I'm trying to figure out which Jane Austen book I should read for spring. Feel free to let me know. I have all of them. I've already read Emma. I'm not rereading Emma. So let me know if y'all have a suggestion for that, and I will see y'all next time. I hope you have an absolutely lovely rest of your day. I am Lindsey from the blog Books for Christian Girls at blogspot.com, where there is a new review every Wednesday and Friday. I try to post a new video on this channel every Friday as well. I'm also on Instagram under Book Reviews by Lindsey, where I talk clean fiction, Christian fiction, but it's also just kind of like, if you want like more personal updates of books and what I'm reading, that would be that one. And then we have Books for Christian Girls, which is more professional and just for Christian fiction. So that's kind of the difference between those two accounts. But then I'm also on Goodreads and TikTok and Facebook and all the many social media sites. But I will see y'all here, there, and everywhere. I hope you have an absolutely lovely rest of your day and enjoy some springtime weather soon. Bye, y'all!